Back to another video. I'm Jorge DeJesus, your Katy, Texas realtor, and you're gonna have to forgive the hat today because I'm having a horrible hair day. To the point where I don't know what to do with it. Making the move to a new place, a new city, a new town, whether it's across the city, it's across the country, we always want to land in the best possible place. And what is the best possible place? Well, ultimately, it's something that serves our needs, has all the amenities that we were hoping for, and this has happened a lot lately, something that we're not regretting in 2 years, and we have to pack up and move. In this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 choices for what I consider the best neighborhoods in Katy, Texas. Now, that's a loaded subject. And again, what might be the top something for me might not be the same for you or for anyone else. All I can use is my own criteria for what would be a top neighborhood. In this video, I'm going to define that as the top schools, specifically high schools. Number 2, the safest areas in Katy, Texas, defined by the least amount of crime, violent crime. And number 3, being somewhere around what the average price is for the area. Now that's my criteria. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what would be your criteria for what a top neighborhood is. Also, while you're leaving a comment, please consider subscribing. Anytime you subscribe to my channel or anybody's channel, you're telling YouTube, hey, I want to learn more about whatever subject it is that channel covers. To keep things fair, I'm gonna use these 3 resources that are available for anyone to double, quadruple, and quintuple check. For safety, I'm gonna double check the LexisNexis community crime map. Number 2, my go-to resource for school rankings is usnews.com. They have a ranking. If you're my age, you would have seen rankings in print for colleges. Online, they still have ranking for colleges. They also have ranking for high schools and K through 8. So they rank everything using data, mostly test scores and SAT scores. And as far as finding value, finding something that's around the average price for the area that I could potentially get into a deal in, I'm going to use obviously my resources as a realtor where I can dwindle these things down. And these are tools that I use in my everyday practice of real estate to help clients find a deal, find something that's undervalued at that moment. That way, when they're walking into it, they can walk into some equity, and we can discuss equity in a later video. Also, to be fair, school rankings may not be important to everyone in their current position in their journey in buying a home. But I want you to think about this. In the suburbs, mainly, which is what this channel is all about, the suburbs of Houston, Texas, mainly Katy, Texas. In the suburbs, location sells. In all of real estate, location sells. Location drives price. So if we have a higher ranked school zoned, and all these schools are zoned, these are public schools, we're not discussing private or charter schools. If all these schools are zoned to these specific neighborhoods, that then drives the value for many people of the neighborhood and the homes in it. Therefore, if you can find an undervalued asset or an undervalued home in these neighborhoods, then you can have some security, not just in the equity that you have, but also if you decide to rent the home out, you know that you won't have issues renting it out. If you decide to sell either as is or having renovated it, you won't have issues because those schools rarely ever lose their status. I'll give you the top 3 high schools in the Katy Independent School District, and then we'll narrow it down from there. Number 1 is going to be Seven Lakes High School, which is number 74 in the state out of 1,992 high schools, I believe, in the state of Texas. Number 2 is going to be Tompkins High School, which is number 84 out of 1,992 high schools. And you can see the drop off. Number 3 is Cinco Ranch, which is where I'm zoned to, which is why I live here, not because of the schools. My kids don't go to these schools, but I want the area. I want the value in the area. Cinco Ranch is number 3. It is ranked, I believe, 117 out of 1,992 Texas high schools. This is actually pretty straightforward. When you look at a map of the crime data, it kind of narrows it down to the areas that are furthest away from the main roads. Why? Because it's a crime. A lot of these crimes are crime of opportunity. You can break into a car and be on the freeway and leave that area quite quickly, and rarely ever have issues getting away with that crime. But compared to the rest of the Houston area, it's where the least amount of crime happens. And these are just crime of opportunity. So we'll stick to the areas that are furthest away, but you still have access to those if you need to go work in the energy corridor or whatever it is. We'll overlap that with where these 3 schools are, and you'll see that it's where the least amount of crime happens as well. Now, what we can do is take a look at some of the latest homes that have sold in this area, in this particular patch of area, and look at which neighborhoods names pop up more often. Look, most real estate agents will make a video like this and try to sell you on the fanciest, schmanciest neighborhood. My goal here is to look at the numbers and tell you specifically what works and what doesn't. What does work is these 5 neighborhoods. Number 1, Pine Mill Ranch. Number 2, Hawks Landing. Number 3, Grand Lakes. Number 4, Silver Ranch. And number 5 is tricky, but it's Cinco Ranch. And I'll explain why it's tricky. Cinco Ranch is a master plan community. It's not a little pocket neighborhood. It's very, very large. So there are going to be sections that are going to have maybe different crime data, maybe different school statistics when it comes to the elementary schools and junior highs. So whenever we say Cinco Ranch, it's a real big generalization. So it's important to do your due diligence and pick out where in Cinco Ranch you would like to land.
All right, so let's check out what's available in these neighborhoods. As always, we're going to use HAR.com's app. It has the most reliable information about availability. We're going to start with Pine Mill Ranch, and we're just going to get an idea of what's out there. We're not going to dive too much into details. We're going to keep it under 400,000, and those yellow ones are under contract, and the green means that they're still active without going under contract. So this one is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-story home, priced at $310,000. Next, we will jump into Hawks Landing. Again, we're just trying to get an idea of what's out there under 400,000. So we go into our HAR app and we see nothing under 400,000. Let's bump it up to $500,000 to see what's going on. It looks like they're all under contract. So let's just take a look at what you can get for 500,000 in Hawks Landing. Moving on to Grand Lakes. So unlike the last two, Grand Lakes is a master plan community, so it is a little bigger. It varies a little bit in styles and price ranges. So we see that we have only the one available. This other one is in a different part of Texas. So this one is a 2,000 square foot, 1-story home with 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. It is under contract, but that's pretty typical, I would say, of all the communities. You would either find a 3-bed, 2-bath or 4-bed, 2-bath, 1-story under $400,000, and to get a 2-story, you'll have to jump into the 450s and 500s. So let's check out Silver Ranch. Silver Ranch, again, only one under contract available at this time, and it is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Lastly, we want to jump into the Cinco Ranch Master Plan community. Out of all of these, this is the biggest neighborhood. So we want to make sure that we lock in on the specific area we talked about was the safest. And we'll look at this property, which is actually, it's one of our listings.
This is, when you look at the number, when you look at the nitty gritty of it, this is what I call the top 5 neighborhoods. Comment down below, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if there's any other neighborhoods you'd like me to review, or if there's anything else that I may have missed that you think is important when making a decision to pick a neighborhood. And as always, thanks for watching.